Hello and welcome. I'm Anka Novakovic with Eco Coach, and I hope you are all enjoying an amazing spring. It's gorgeous here in DC. I am loving it. I'm outside. So today I wanted to share with you the 5 top obstacles that I've seen in the 13 years consulting to different businesses around sustainability, around procurement and implementing a procurement policy and actually taking action around it. So there are 5 obstacles that I've seen. You can put them in different buckets as usual. And in case you're wondering what environmentally friendly procurement is, it essentially means that you are buying things that are made out of recycled material, that are made out of renewable resources, that don't use resources that are hard to mine, or that you're basically being good to the earth, and of course it has to make economic sense. So when you're engaging in environmentally preferable procurement or eco-friendly procurement or green procurement, or so many of the different terms for it, you're not only looking at your vendor through the typical criteria that you use in terms of price and quality, but you're also looking at what they have in terms of items that are good for the environment. So you're adding different criteria, right? You may be using recyclable items, or you might be purchasing recyclable items. You might be purchasing items that might cost a little bit more in the short run, but are higher quality, and so they're going to last longer, and so you're not going to throw them. It's not just something that goes straight to the landfill. It goes into your business, stays there for a month, 6 months, and then it goes to the landfill. So with that, I wanted to start and talk about those 5 obstacles if you're just joining me. The first one is the fear of change, right? Everyone has been doing this. If you kind of think about it, and it kind of goes across the board with anything that you do, if you're doing something new, you're wondering, and especially if you're in charge of procurement and you're going to be buying things for other people, you're wondering, like, okay, what are people going to say? What should I do differently? What's the pushback that I'm going to get? You might also have a long-term relationship with some of your suppliers that you want to hold on to for a variety of reasons, and so that's another reason that you may not want to change. And so what I wanted to do as we talk about these things is also provide some suggestions as to how to address these. And so for this one, what you want to do is start with small ticket items, right? So you might just want to buy some pens or some recycled paper or something else, and you also want to talk to your suppliers and kind of figure out if there is something that they can provide, if they're willing to stock a new item. Let them know that you're interested in eco-friendly items, and you'd be really surprised you're not the only one who's asking for those things. So I'm sure that they would be more than willing to consider it. And a lot of the larger suppliers already carry eco-friendly alternatives. So they carry recycled paper, they carry pens, and I'm going to the office supplies because that's a very common area that you're looking at and that basically most businesses are going to be using. So I'm going to give those examples more readily than others because it kind of applies across the board. And so basically it boils down to identifying new ways of working with your existing suppliers, right? So that's one thing. Fear of change is a really big one, and that comes across in any sustainability project and really any project that you're doing. So the price point perception is the second one that I wanted to share with you, and really the idea is that the thought behind it is, like, eco-friendly products, purchasing something that is environmentally friendly is going to cost me more, right? So if it's going to cost me more, what's it going to bring me? But here's the reality. While in the past the eco-friendly alternative did cost more, or in the short run it may cost more right now, but it may not in the long run. So those are 2 different thoughts. So the first one is, the reality is that the majority of eco-friendly products are actually on par in terms of price right now as the conventional alternatives. And so you are able to buy eco-friendly alternatives and not really see the too much of a price point differential. The other thing is that you want to look at the whole life cycle of a product when you're looking at an eco-friendly product. So for example, if there's a product that is more expensive, but it's higher quality and it's eco-friendly and it's going to last longer than the conventional alternative, then it still will cost less in the long run, right? And Fred, great. Thanks for joining. And yeah, I'm glad you agree. I think it's really important to kind of look at the whole life cycle of a product. And if a green product still seem to cost more than a conventional product, I would also kind of look at how you can team up with others to lower the price. And so there may be other, especially if you're a small or medium-sized business, there may be other businesses in the area or who you do business with who may be interested in buying those same products. But if you haven't talked about it, you have no idea. So reach out to them, reach out to their procurement department or their procurement officer and find out if that's something that they're interested in doing. And if you're buying in bulk, then the price is going to go down. And what you also want to do here with the price point is you want to start with the items that don't cost as much, right? In terms of price point parity. You want to make sure that as you're kind of getting people on board with this, it's affordable for the people who are actually, paying for it. So if you're a procurement officer, if you're a sustainability champion, the CFO at the end of the day is going to be getting the bill and they're going to be looking at it and saying, you know what, okay, this makes sense. There's no difference in the price point, so I'm willing to do it. As opposed to, there's, a 40% markup and there's no way that we're going to be able to afford this in the long term. The third thing is the third objection. So if you're just joining, the first one was the fear of change, right? A big obstacle to eco-friendly procurement. The second thing was the price point perception, right? And then the third is an idea that there's a lack of a suitable alternative, right? And so you may think, and this kind of goes back to quality, you may think that, let's take green cleaning as an example. I use industrial strength cleaners for my building and I need the building to be extra clean, especially this is the case, if you're looking at a hospital or what have you, but let's just take a regular office building. And the reality right now is that the green cleaning products that are available out there, not all of them, so you have to do your homework, but the green cleaning products that are out there clean as well, if not better in some instances, as a conventional product, right? So you do have alternatives. You just have to do a little bit of digging, and it may take a little bit of time. And again, ask your supplier. Your current supplier might know. And you know what? If you're asking them, then they may be willing to look into it, and they may be willing to carry it, especially if you have a big account with them, right? The fourth item is the ignorance of existence of environmentally friendly procurement products. So for the majority, or I would say for a lot of businesses, they know that there are eco-friendly alternatives out there. They may not be able to afford them, or so they think, or they may not have that as a priority, but they know. But believe it or not, even though you think it's common parlance that eco-friendly products exist, it's not. And there are a lot of businesses out there who don't realize that there are eco-friendly products out there and that they can actually do something that helps the environment as well as, benefits their bottom line and benefits their employees. Because this is, again, I've talked about this in past Facebook Lives, and definitely check out my blog. When you look at sustainability, when you're implementing environmentally friendly practices at your organization, this helps your employees. It helps with the morale. Depending on what you're doing, it reduces absenteeism, it reduces turnover. So there are a lot of benefits. And if you're wondering, I would say just look over the past Facebook Lives, look over my blog, and that'll give you some ideas of some of the benefits of sustainability, because I definitely talk about a lot of those. So again, the ignorance of existing environmentally friendly products. And so one of the things, if you're in an organization and you want to implement something that's eco-friendly around procurement, what you want to do is first, you want to make sure that you're really well educated. So study up on the terms, what you want to do is you want to educate your colleagues, right? So everything that you've just learned, and bring your excitement and your passion. Everything that you've just learned, you can share with your colleagues and let them know, look, here are some alternatives. Here's the price point difference, if there is one. Here are ways that we can save money. Here's where I think we should get started, right? So there are alternatives, and it's up to you, if you're the one who wants to implement this, to educate folks. And it's not just your colleagues, it's the folks in procurement. It could be your CFO, your COO, whoever you think makes sense and who makes the decisions at your organizations. And so the last item that I wanted to chat about today was just in general, and this happens with any project, is if environmentally friendly procurement is not seen as a priority, right? You don't think this is something that your organization is going to care about. And I bring this back a lot again and again to making the business case and to the benefits of sustainability in general. And there are a couple things to think about here. One is, and I mentioned the price point, so doing that, running an analysis of what the cost is and what the long-term costs are, not just short-term costs, and also making the business case. And so making the business case is something that you have to do with sustainability and really with any project that you're looking at. And making the business case, I actually have a blog on that on the website, so be sure to take a look at eco-coach.com and take a look at that blog, because I'm not going to go into that, but it's really important to make the business case, and then it will be seen as a priority. And part of making the business case is looking at the benefits of sustainability, and part of it, of course, is enhancing your brands, right? You want to make sure you're walking the talk, you're not greenwashing, but you're likely some of your competitors are doing it. It's going to attract new customers. And if you are a supplier to a larger contractor, those bigger organizations are baking sustainability into their RFPs, into their RFRs. So you shouldn't be surprised in the future if one of your clients, if it's a larger client, if you're a B2B organization, says, hey, tell me what you're doing around sustainability, right? And it's better to be ahead of the game than to be behind it. So that is what I have for you today. If you want more info, I actually wrote a blog about it, or if you missed part of this, you could go to www.eco-coach.com and click on the blog. And of course, if you are looking at around sustainability, we have a free checklist. I mention that a lot because I think if you're looking to get started and aren't sure where to go, I would go to the homepage of the Eco Coach website, and you could download a free sustainability checklist. You can look through and see what you're doing at your organization. It'll give you some ideas, and it's really a great starting point. So have a fantastic spring day, and I will see you in the next Facebook Live. Take care.